More than 4,000 years ago, one of the world's great civilizations built cities with straight streets, sophisticated drainage systems, standardized bricks, and a level of urban planning that would not be matched for centuries. Then, slowly, its cities fell silent. No famous king recorded its final days. No surviving army described its last battle. No ancient historian wrote the story of its collapse. Today, the ruins remain across the lands of modern Pakistan and northwestern India, but the civilization that built them is still partly hidden behind a script we cannot fully read. So how did the Indus Valley Civilization rise to greatness, and why did its great cities disappear? Its story began thousands of years ago along the Indus River and the surrounding plains. Long before the pyramids of Egypt reached their greatest, age communities here were developing agriculture, trade, pottery, and permanent settlements. Over generations, these settlements grew larger and more organized. By around 2600 BC, the civilization entered its mature urban phase. Then something extraordinary appeared. Cities such as Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were not chaotic collections of houses. Their streets followed organized layouts. Buildings were constructed with standardized baked bricks. Wells provided water. Drainage channels carried wastewater away from homes. Some houses even had private bathing areas connected to carefully designed drainage systems. This was not simply a civilization that had learned how to survive. It had learned how to organize millions of lives around cities. At the center of this world was trade. Indus merchants exchanged goods across enormous distances, connecting their cities with regions far beyond the Indus plains. Archaeological evidence points to contact with Mesopotamia, where Indus goods and merchants appear to have been known. Seals, beads, pottery, metals, and other objects moved across these ancient networks. But the civilization remains strangely quiet. We have found thousands of seals covered with symbols, yet the Indus script has never been conclusively deciphered. We can see their signs, but we cannot confidently hear their voices. We know their cities, we know their technology, we know their trade, but we still struggle to know their rulers. There are no universally accepted royal tombs displaying the names of powerful kings. No enormous monuments clearly proclaiming the achievements of individual emperors. No surviving epic tells us which ruler conquered which territory. Instead, the civilization seems to have left behind something different. A world built around cities, craftsmanship, trade, water management, and standardized systems. And for centuries it worked. Harappa grew into a major urban center. Mohenjo-daro became one of the largest known settlements of the ancient world. Across the region, communities were connected by shared technologies, styles, measurements, and economic networks. Then, after centuries of prosperity, the system began to change. Around the early 2nd millennium BC, the great urban centers started losing their strength. The change was not necessarily one dramatic event. There was no single morning when the people of Mohenjo-daro woke up and abandoned everything. Instead, archaeologists see a gradual transformation. Major cities declined, long-distance trade weakened, urban planning became less consistent. Some settlements were abandoned, others continued, but in smaller forms. The civilization that had once supported enormous cities was becoming increasingly rural, and this is where the mystery begins. For a long time, historians searched for a dramatic explanation. Perhaps an invading army destroyed the cities, perhaps a foreign people conquered the region, perhaps warfare brought the civilization crashing down. But the archaeological picture is far more complicated. There is no simple evidence of one massive invasion destroying every major Indus city. Instead, scientists have increasingly examined environmental changes. The Indus world depended heavily on rivers, seasonal rainfall, agriculture, and predictable water supplies. If those systems changed, the entire urban economy could be affected, and the climate may have been changing. Evidence from different parts of South Asia suggests that the monsoon weakened around the period when the great cities were declining. Rivers may also have changed their courses, while some regions experienced increasing environmental stress. Imagine living in a city designed around a river system that no longer behaves the way your ancestors expected. Fields become harder to irrigate. Harvests become less reliable. Trade routes change. Water becomes harder to manage. The city can survive for a while, but eventually, people begin making different choices. They move toward places where farming is more reliable. They establish smaller communities. They abandon the massive urban centers. And slowly, the civilization changes shape. But just as the cities began fading, another mystery emerged. The people did not simply vanish. Their descendants did not disappear from history overnight. Instead, populations moved, adapted, and reorganized across South Asia. The great cities disappeared. The people continued. That distinction is crucial. The Indus Valley Civilization may not have ended with a single catastrophic event. It may have transformed through centuries of environmental pressure, economic change, migration, and social reorganization. And yet one question remains. Why did a civilization capable of building some of the world's most sophisticated cities of its age lose its urban heart? The answer may be buried beneath the same soil that preserved its streets, wells, seals, and bricks. And the deeper archaeologists dig, the more complicated the mystery becomes. Because the greatest clue may not be what destroyed the Indus cities. It may be what happened to the people who walked away from them.